Peter Finnan here for Irish Golfer, and we have come down to Concept Golf once again doing some equipment testing. And here with Mark O'Mahony from Concept Golf.
Thanks.
And we are here to look at the new Ping G430 Max 10K. Right, G430 Max 10K, first things first. Ping don't normally bring out their 2-year cycles. This kind of came left of field, out of the blue. Interesting product.
Yeah, very. Had some time to test and to see what kind of numbers, what we'd get from it, what type of golfer we'll be kind of working into. So it is a very interesting product. To second your point, they are in a kind of 2-year cycle and they've brought this out kind of outside of it. So they're obviously confident in what they've brought out on the back of it. So there is some fantastic piece of tech within it, which is great. Some things that we'll kind of learn more about as we see what it has.
It's a stability story. It's an MOI story.
All day.
Totally. It's like, I know like a lot of drivers that have come out this year have all been like, MOI is the buzzword around all manufacturers. Ping are they're the kings of MOI. They have been the kings of stability for as long as I've played golf. If ever you weren't going to get custom fit for a driver and you just wanted to send someone into a shop and get something off the rack and hit it, Ping are the brand. They always have been.
100% agree. I think they hold a lot of authenticity with what they do. The tradition of kind of what they've brought to the market now within a driver head seconds that. But with this 10K now, it tells a whole different story. They're breaking kind of barriers in a sense of kind of the head shape, the aesthetics, how the ball is framed around it. And then ultimately, in a sense of what they've learned from 430 in the LST, the SFT and the Max, they've really brought that into to this product.
So 10K is MOI points, is stability, is the club's sort of resistance to twisting and off-center hits. There's just simplicity on that. Looking at what Ping have done with this, so I have the Max and the G430 Max. I actually gamed this last year, loved it. There is, like, I've described it in pieces that I've written as the Max, only maxier, like for a watered down way of doing it. But it really is, like, I didn't think they could improve on the forgiveness of this product, but they definitely have in this. But it's a very niche product.
Agreed. It's all three 430s brought into one. So like you have your SFT weighting that's fixed. You have your carbon fly crown from the LST, and then you have that kind of max shape that it sits all around. So it's a really kind of cool story that captures the three heads that are currently out there. You can see it in the tests that we've already done. It really provides everything it needs to tell that Max story, only maxier, as you say.
And the 10K model, like, if you look at the back of this, there's a movable weight on the standard 430 Max. This is just a fixed weight, a lot more weight. If we look at these from the crown, then the footprint of the 10K is just so much bigger. They've literally gone to the widest and the longest you can actually get within USGA or RNA standings while still maintaining that 460cc head. Like, looking down on these, they are two very different products. I know you've talked about the crown. They've used that to sort of save a little bit of weight, the weight savings they've had. MOI is a tough one though, because it is like, if you want to make a really, really forgiving product like they have, you do have to give up a little bit of ball speed.
100%, and I think while we're trying to capture this Max story for 2024, I'd say, it is kind of giving the player that understanding through a fitting, through education within the product, that the further you spread that MOI across the face, yes, you'll have the opportunity to hit it straighter, more consistently, but you are relinquishing kind of optimizing that ball speed. And I think that's the give and take. Hence why a fitting is really, really crucial to kind of have yourself kind of go and get one when thinking of driver, but also thinking of potentially putting a Max in play, because it's not as easy. I'll plug it in and it'll work straight away and I'll optimize everything. There's kind of another storyline with that.
It's an interesting one with the 10K as well. Like, Ping have actually done this before. They have done, and it's something that not many. They didn't highlight it themselves. They did it with G430 Max back in the day, and some tour players stuck that in. Seamus Power stuck that in the bag with the right shaft, with the right setup. Wasn't losing much ball speed at all. Like, do you think we'll see any tour players sticking this in? Like, the Ping are advising, from what I've heard, loft down a little if you're looking at that. Like, there's plenty of spin in this head, and gear up with the right shaft.
It's a tough one, because I think when you start putting it into better players' hands, you're looking for feedback in relation to the aesthetics of the product, to the sound of the product, to how it's flying in the air. And within reason, it might kind of tick the box for some. But as I said, like, it's down to kind of how a tour player would be won over with it. I think the biggest thing straight away is that it is for that player who is seeking just more forgiveness, who is looking for a bit of inspiration when it comes to looking down at a driver.
Because the footprint is huge.
It is quite big.
It's big.
And out on tour, it's quite the opposite effect that they want. They want something a little bit more petite, something that frames it that bit easier, that they can make it work, as in the ball, that is. So it'll be a tricky one.
It is big looking down on it, isn't it?
It is quite big. It's very elongated. It's quite upright for me personally.
Exactly. It's a negative for you, but for 90%, for us mortals, it's exactly what you want to see.
And that's the thing. Like, it's just encouraging that I am going to hit this, and it's everything that a player like that would want. The upright lie is to help kind of move that ball right to left, or to help negate a ball moving left to right. A little bit towy, spin quite low, but again, yeah.
Yeah, what I was going to say is those numbers there kind of highlight what we've found across. A player like me will get more from a product like this. You lose a little bit of ball speed, but because it's a forgiveness product, it's not a ball speed story. And if you want ball speed, use the LST model of this, or look at the Max, the standard Max, or yeah.
I think from a fitting standpoint, player arrives into the fitting, the first head you're going to kind of introduce them to is the Max 10K. And that's for a player who's seeking kind of confidence, seeking kind of consistency. At that early phase of the fitting, you're not looking at optimal performance. You're looking to get the player kind of settled. You're looking to get the player into a club that they can gain confidence with. Naturally, not immediately, but something that actually frames it in the right way for them. And then you can kind of get into pushing the parameters down a little bit as the session evolves. But as fitting goes, it's a fantastic starting point, because it does give the player everything they need in relation to the consistency of shot outcome.
Yeah, and the variable face thickness and the face that they've used in this as well, compared to the standard Max head. Because they've gone with a more elongated head, they've kind of shaved away little bits of the perimeter weighting again from the front of it. So, like, you're not losing much ball speed, but you're gaining a serious amount of dispersion, and it's keeping it, like, you feel like you can hammer that. It likes to turn over right to left.
It does,
little,
like, that's kind of what I'm fighting. I'm fighting a little bit more kind of movement from right to left, so I really have to feel that I'm working and managing the club face out to the right, and just hoping it doesn't flip too quick and too much. But again, gets me up to that 174 ball speed, and whilst it is kind of as full tilt as one can get, it hasn't moved much. Curved 27 feet in the air. And it's kind of still very stable on the club face. Club face angle was 1.4 degrees open.
So there we have it, the Ping G430 Max 10K. What wheelhouse of a player is this going to slot right into?
I think initially it's going to suit the mid to higher handicap golfer, and that's on paper. But when your individual walks in, it's going to be pretty much an open house. Through an understanding of what the player is looking for. As I said, I think it's going to be a great opener to a fitting, that it just gives that player the opportunity to see what maximum forgiveness is like, both in the visual effects, but also in the performance. So I would still say mid to high, and I think it's going to be a pretty general kind of audience that it's aimed at, you know.
Yeah. One thing that really sticks out for me with this product though is, it's the only negative I'd have in it, and not that a negative is such a bad, it's the RRP. This thing is coming in at €725, which is the most expensive driver with a recommended RRP on the market this year. So it's quite a niche price product. I'm sure that will come down to the year two if you're looking to get custom fit at Concept Golf or at a Ping stockist nationwide. It'll be in around that mark. So it is punching, but it's well worth considering. If forgiveness is what you're looking for, 100%, you got to get a feel of it to sort of see which one suits you. But there are so many, there are 4 heads now in the G430 lineup. There's definitely one to suit everybody. Who knows? The 10K could be for you.